Here's a truth that you have to come to terms with if you want to be a fighter. The fight promotions are not looking out for your safety. They're not looking out for your well-being. How do I know this? Well, I've been in the industry for so many years, been with the biggest promotions for many years, and I have the perfect example, perfect thing to show you that it's not about fighter safety, it's about creating a business that is going to be successful. We're going to compare these two gloves, and I'm going to tell you some stories. Big exciting news, everybody. My limited edition fight gear is now available for pre-sale, but only for the next 2 weeks. I made sure we have the highest quality possible. These are not the shorts that I'm offering. I already have images up there where you can see the designs, but this is going to be the same short style. I've never seen a short with this type of mesh. It's so solid, it's so strong. These will never break down as far as I can tell. They look amazing. Structurally, they feel like, I don't even know. When I used to see Buakaw fight and he had on these stellar shorts and they just look fantastic, like the quality, the durability, that's what we have here. And at a special price, you get the top, the bottom for that discounted rate, but again, it's only available for the next 2 weeks for the pre-order. You order it now, you'll get it by mid-December for those intense holiday training sessions. Be sure to jump on this before they're all gone. Now we're talking about what you need to understand, whether it be you're going to compete and you want to protect yourself, or just being aware of this sport, this industry, which you love. Watching fighters, competing, training. It's good to know what happens behind the scenes. So here's a little bit of a story. We take a look at these two gloves. They're both fight gloves. You can tell one is a little smaller than the other in height. Turn them sideways. You're going to see again, one's a little bit tighter than the other. Now here's the big difference. This is what blew my mind. And the story behind this is I went over to the Hayabusa offices where they're making all this spectacular gear. And I was asking them like, wow, how come your guys' new recent gloves are so hard? You look at this one here and you can see my thumb just sinks into it. That means when I get hit, I'm not gonna take as much damage. And then all of a sudden we were fighting in these things where my finger doesn't sink, and when you take a shot, it is so damaging. Hayabusa told me they got contacted by Glory. Glory had 1 or 2 events where the knockout ratio for the whole event went down substantially. They contacted Hayabusa, they said we need a smaller, harder glove. Hayabusa went smaller, they went harder. Still, next event, not enough knockouts. Glove got again, smaller. This just goes to show me that, again, we're not worried. I mean, we the fighters are, but the industry in general is not worried about fighter health, right? It's about creating spectacular knockouts. Even if that means that we're gonna go to more dangerous gear, ones that will really rattle the fighters up. And there's always changes happening within the industry in terms of what gear we're using, what weigh-ins, like times of weigh-ins that are allowed, things to make it seem like we're helping the fighters. Case in point, years ago, you used to have to weigh in 24 hours before the fight. That was standard. Fights at 7 o'clock, weigh-ins are at 7 p.m. the day before. All of a sudden they go, okay, you know what? We're going to move the weigh-ins earlier. So now you can weigh in at 8 in the morning. And while many people go, oh, okay, this is great. This is great. It means the fighters can properly rehydrate. I look at it and I go, so we're giving these bigger fighters an opportunity to completely replenish themselves so they get full energy, full power. And now they're going to be knocking out the smaller fighters. Big weight cuts are now just that much more of a push with extra recovery time. And this is not uncommon with fight promotions, right? You show up and your opponent doesn't make weight. They don't go to you and shake your hand and say, oh, well, you know, we messed up. We should have got you an opponent who did their job on the scale. They're like, no, we want you to fight. We're gonna dock a small amount of his purse, but you're gonna go in there and you're gonna fight him. Or if an opponent falls through, they're not like, okay, you know what, we'll push it back a couple weeks, give you a new opponent. They're like, no, we have a new opponent for you on 3 or 4 days notice and we want you to fight them. It's very commonplace. And it's because, again, the promotions are looking out for themselves. Anybody who believes they're looking out for the well-being of the fighters, in my opinion, is completely naive. That's why it's your responsibility, whether you're amateur or professional, to look after yourself, to hopefully have a good corner, a good coach who will do most of that for you. But sometimes you have to make the tough decision to look after yourself. And stuff like this really disappoints me, because I go, okay, you know what? We had a couple cards where the knockouts were not massive. Maybe like a third of the fights ended in knockout, or 20% ended in knockout. So instead of the promotion going, well, what are ways that we can incentivize people fairly to get in there and go for those knockouts? Maybe we put on bonuses. Kind of like the UFC does, right? They do the 50,000 for the fight of the night or the knockout of the night and things like that. But at the end of the day, when you're on a card and there's what, 10, 12, 15 fights, and you're looking for that performance of the night, you might go in and put on a killer fight, get a killer knockout, and then somebody does a little better than you. And you're like, well, there's my 50,000. And really 50,000, when you think about it, how long has that bonus been around? It's been 50,000 for a long time. 50,000 is nothing like it was 10 years ago. So you're asking fighters to go in there, put everything on the line to maybe get 50,000. It really should be like, you get a knockout, immediate 25 grand or something like that, immediate $50,000. ONE FC is doing a good job handing out bonuses, in my opinion, for those knockouts. And while it's not necessarily great for fighters in terms of, oh, now people are coming and swinging to get that knockout, more damage, less technical, it's what the promotion wants. And they're doing it in ways that benefit the fighters, as opposed to this, which doesn't benefit the fighters at all. Just means more danger, but nothing for them. So be on the lookout, guys. It's up to you to keep yourself safe. I hope you do that. Be sure to hit that link down below where you can pick up my limited edition fight gear before it's all gone. Thanks for joining, guys. I'll see you back here soon.